What's up? What's going on, people? It's your boy, the BQF, the Black Quarterback Forum, BlackQBsInEffect.com website. Y'all know what fucking time it is. I got my dog in the background. He walking around trying to tell that dog to just sit your ass down somewhere, dog, so I can make this video and then my damn computer won't run out on me. But hey, y'all know what time it is. That's right. Your boy, Alex Herring, Black Quarterback Forum. Hey, Dizzle. That's me, baby. And so hopefully I can get through this video in one set without it running out on me. But there's been a lot going on. Obviously, our country had an election, right? And we gonna have a new president. So I ain't here to talk about all that, but I'm here to talk about football. And there was some buys last week, so we ain't got as many quarterbacks to talk about. But I'm here to talk about the fact that they ain't really talking about that this has been the most black quarterbacks ever. I looked at a lot of websites before I started my video tonight. A lot of websites talk about it. I don't know if they talked about it week one, week two, week three on the pregame shows. I think I may have watched a little bit of pregame show week one, week two. I don't remember them specifically talking about it. But at the websites that I looked at, they're all talking about it's just, I think it was 14 last year. They didn't count Tua. It was 15 and they didn't count Tua. This year they didn't count. They're not counting Tua as black. So I'm just going to say this. If Tua, I've said this show plenty of times, if that nigga is in a lineup with all white guys, who the fuck y'all think they gonna say is the black guy? Okay? So whether he's counted as black or not, he black to me. Okay? I've been watching football for a long time, got the gray, and if you see me in person, you can tell that I'm older. Okay? 60 years old. That's right. 6-0. So I've been watching football for a long time. And look, man, it wasn't black guys playing in the late 60s and early 70s. Oh, I'm almost forgot. I'm reading my man's book. That's right. Rise of the Black Quarterback. Get that shit up there, right? Let me hold it. Rise of the Black Quarterback. What it means for America. I don't think it means shit for America, but what it means for people like me, and I still appreciate my man for writing this book. I'm just saying, America. I don't really think because they ain't even advertising that it's been the most black quarterbacks starting in the NFL ever. They not advertising it. Like I said, I watched the pregame shows. I don't recall them specifically talking about. There's a lot of websites that I just checked out tonight that early in the season and even up through October, they talking about the most black quarterbacks starting. They still ain't counting Tua. If that man ain't black, I don't know what it is. Yeah, he Hawaiian black. Okay, period. There was 16 start this past season. I'll get back into that in just a moment. But this book, I finally got through with chapter 5, whatever they talked about. Some of the old cats who was there before they even let them play in the quarterback position. You know, and I usually have a saying that I want to read from the book, but my apologies, I got to get back to that. I don't have one. Chapter 6 was taking me for a while because I wasn't reading it as often as I had been when I first got the book. But anyway, let me get to the scores and then I'll get to, how I really feel about what they're doing. And it doesn't make any sense to me. So with the buys and with a couple people removed from the position, Dak being hurt, there's not as many black quarterbacks. Excuse me. So I'll just touch on the losers right quick. They lost. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud. Two of those guys, Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud, had one more than they lost. Caleb, I'll touch on him in a minute, but he's having all sorts of problems. Excuse me, in Chicago. And it's just problems, man, for him. So anyway, Jaden having a much better year. Most likely gonna win Rookie of the Year quarterback. And a CJ Stroud, of course. He's doing what he's doing in Houston, but they've lost last couple games. So let me get to my winners. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had 8, 7, 8. I have many it was. It was Mo. It was almost twice. So let's run through them because I really want to talk about them not acknowledging all of the quarterbacks in the NFL. That's what I really want to talk about. And just looking at the numbers as I was looking at them earlier, I believe Kyler Murray had the best day. Lamar Jackson, a week ago almost this past come tomorrow, Thursday. He did put on a show and they held off Cincinnati. Cincinnati to me, one of the better teams, the better quarterbacks. I don't watch, well, not well, they just been losing. But on one of the shows they were talking about, the only shows that I watch, excuse me, comes on Fox. They were talking about is Cincinnati wasting his time, or is he wasting his time with the Bengals? We'll just talk about it for a minute. And they got talent. It's just they don't all come together. I don't know. But anyway, Lamar Jackson was 25 for 33 in that game, 290 yards, 8.8 average, 4 touchdowns, 0 INTs. He was sacked 0 times for 0 yards. He had a 141-point rating, higher than Kyler Murray's. I was just checking. And he rushed 7 times for 33 yards. So they won that game. I didn't see the end of it. I heard there was some shit going on towards the end of it with Cincinnati and them going for a 2-point conversion and they failed. So, but hey, Lamar, they're gonna be hard. They're gonna be hard out in the playoffs. His goal and their team's goal is to get to the Super Bowl and win. Got to get past Patrick. So I'm just going over the winners and losers. I ain't got it divided between the NFC and AFC. But Bryce Young, he's getting his starting position back, and they're gonna go back and forth with him and should the other white guy be starting. He's starting right now. He was 15 for 25, 126 yards. He had a 5.0 average. He had 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. He was sacked 1 time for 8 yards. He had an 86.4 rating, and his rushing was 2 carries for 30 yards. Nothing all that special, but hey, he won the game. Then there was Patrick Mahomes. They should have lost that game. Denver just couldn't make the field goal. I mean, when you look at, there was a show I was watching on TV that showed that play, and all the Chiefs that rushed through that made the, and it was, he should have lost. But he was 28 for 42, 266 yards, 6.3 average, 1 touchdown, 0 INTs. He was sacked 4 times and minus 23 yards. He had a 92.0 rating, and he rushed 3 times for 19 yards. So, but they should have lost that game. Russell Wilson, they ended up beating Jaden Daniels. He was 14 for 28, 195 yards, a 7.0 average, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT. He was sacked 3 times for minus 23 yards. He had a 93.6 rating, and his rushing really didn't matter. Jalen Hurts just beat up on the Cowboys. He was 14 for 20, 202 yards, 10.1 average, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. He was well, Cowboys still got somewhat of a defense. He was sacked 5 times for minus 46 yards. He had a rating of 115. He had 7 rushes for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think one of them was the push where they right there at the goal line. I didn't watch the game because what's there to watch? I mean, it's not going to be competitive. Dak wasn't playing. So, Kyler Murray, he was 22 for 24. He's the most efficient, 266 yards. He had the highest average, 11.1, 1 touchdown, 0 INTs, and he was 1.7 on the sacks. It was 1 sack minus 7 yards. He had a 126.7 rating, and he had 3 rushes for 21 yards. He had 2 touchdowns too. So, and then the black guy, they not call him black, Tua, 20 for 28, 207 yards, 7.3 average, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. He was sacked 3 times, 36 yards, and an 89.4 rating. And they was able to hang on to beat the Rams. So Kyler had the highest average, 11.1. Lamar had the most yards, most touchdowns, 0 sacks, 0 INT, highest rating. So he probably had the best day of the quarterbacks. And with the buys now, it's just everybody doesn't play until another week or two when they're done with the buys. So we have a few less games to talk about. Excuse me. And like I said, I just wanted to keep it real brief as I can this week, and talk about the fact that they're not really talking about this year. Really, we had 15, 16 black quarterbacks start, the most ever. in a long time, or the most ever, period, that's ever been in the league. And when you look at the backups, it's about 30. I haven't even talked to, they backups, they don't play, but that's about another 15. That's about 30, somewhere between 30, 32. I can't remember the exact number. I had it posted on my website week one. And it's been the most ever. And to me, they're acting like, oh, black guys have always played the NFL. It's not been the case. They have been, but they made them. I just got chapter 6, right? So all those cats that came early on in late 60s, if they were drafting them, late early 70s, even with Warren Moon, they didn't draft Warren Moon initially. They wanted these cats to play a different position. Some of them, like my man, not Herm Edwards, but his name will come to me in a second. He was the DB for the Steelers. Tony Dungy. He won a Super Bowl. He was a quarterback in college. I didn't realize it. I went back and read and saw all the stuff about him. They wanted him. He was like, okay, I'll do what I got to do. And he was great. And he has a great mind. And he was like a professor on the field, even when he was playing. So, and all those cats, they know, and they play their role because they want their paychecks and they do what they have to do and they say what they got to say. But at the end of the day, that's a bunch of bullshit, man. I mean, come on. These cats were denied to play the position, and eventually it got to the evolution. That's what Mike Vick called his shit, the evolution, right? The evolving. And I would say go watch his show. I love me some Mike Vick, okay? I love it. He beat Green Bay when they had Brett Favre. I love that shit. I was one of the only few people to buy, rooting for the Falcons. But no, I mean, and I love black quarterbacks. When I was a kid growing up, I'm 60, okay? It's a number of white quarterbacks. I was a big time Cowboy fan, Roger Staubach, Tony White, whoever else they had quarterback. Danny White, and the rest of them, okay? So yeah, I rooted for the Cowboys with a white quarterback. But now that there's half the league is black quarterbacks. So I ain't no Cowboy fan. In a minute that gone from them, I ain't rooting for them bastards either. I root for the teams with black quarterbacks. It's what I do. Okay? And I ain't got no problem saying that shit. I root for them cats. And when it come down to one playing in the NFC, in the championship games, hey, whoever wins, wins, man. But I'm happy to see the shit. Because the black quarterbacks deserve recognition beyond and most of the websites that I saw this where they were talking about, oh, it's 14, 15. Nobody had 16. Okay. Nobody was counting Tua as black. That man is a black man. Okay. I'm not gonna get into social sciences and all that, but a lot of people descended from black people. Okay. They went places and they became lighter and they became white. But anyway, you can go read about that. Trust me, I'm well read. I read a lot of shit, man. And that's I'm not gonna get into politics either here. I'm keeping the football. Anyway, it's just been bugging me, man. I mean, the fact that they don't want to acknowledge it, and it's just like, oh, just smooth that over. It's always been these black guys in the NFL. No, it hasn't. No. Some of the websites talk about how there was 10, 11, just 5, 6 years ago. Then the last couple of drafts, they drafted 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever the case, since the 2020s. That's just 4 years ago. Yeah, four, not 8, 4. So it hasn't always been a lot of black quarterbacks in the NFL, people. That's all I'm trying to say. And the fact that we got pretty much, well, I'm not going to say half because we ain't there yet, but 1 or 2 quarterbacks away from being half the league. Once we get officially half, it's going to go past half. It ain't going to go back. Just like when I looked up black, white players in the NFL, excuse me, it had 55% black, 45% white. What do you think that means? So, a lot of those quarterbacks make up that 55%. And I was reading some websites, and they want to throw all these other high-tech uh, numbers and stuff at you like, it's 32 teams. How many got starting black quarterbacks? How many got that to me? That's the only numbers you need. 32. 16 is 16 is 50%. Okay, if it's less than 16, then it ain't 50%. It's plain and simple. Anyway, people, I'm just in this video before my computer uh, ends it for me. Anyway, if you watch, I appreciate it. If you go to the website, blackqbsineffect.com, black, BLACK, QBs in effect, INEFFECT, blackqbsineffect.com. That's where I house all my information. This video will go there. There's a YouTube video where all my videos are posted. Not a lot of views. I don't care. I'm still going to make them and talk about black quarterbacks because I don't see nobody else specifically talking about black quarterbacks. I'm sorry. I'm just saying they don't talk about black quarterbacks on the show outside of the team concept. They're going to talk about them within the team, but specifically just talking about black quarterbacks, I don't know who else is doing it. So, of just a few people that was watching, fantastic. I had a partner last year. He's no longer with me. Just me, baby. Yours truly. Black Quarterback Forum. I ain't want to wear no jersey tonight because I ain't want y'all to think I was going any kind of way. But y'all know with all the jerseys, y'all see them hanging. There you go. Everybody. And I still got more in my closet. We can't see. You got Lamar, I can't even say his name. Lamar Jackson, Lamar, Marvelous, if I can get that out. Excuse me. Over there with Jordan Love, the Marvelous. That's what I was trying to say, people. Anyway, if you watch the videos, I appreciate it. If you go to the website, I really appreciate it. I really do. I put hard work into that website. So enjoy the games this weekend, people, and just know that it ain't always been this many black quarterbacks, and they just gonna try to smooth that shit over like nothing to see here. The fuck out of here. It's been a lot. It's a lot to see here. Okay, so stop with that nonsense. Anyway, more power to y'all, and I'll get back at y'all. Take care.